Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm Risa,
And I'm stuck.
or Ariana, and we're the
I'm
Krolmeister
lost.
sisters. Just as a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
If you want a podcast without mature themes, then go on over to hers very own Unlocked.
Very good. That was very nice. Did it
I
well.
did that flawlessly.
Whew.
I
Okay.
remembered the podcast name and everything.
So what are we talking about today, sister?
Today we are talking about the unknown.
Into the unknown.
By
Okay.
which I mean Midnight in Salem, not, death.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Midnight in Salem today. You're going to be like, guys, it hasn't come out yet. We fucking know.
What? I played it last week.
So we're going to talk about what
Where are you calling from?
we're going to talk about what we expect to see, what we hope to see, what we're afraid to see.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So, let's start off. They just came out 2 weeks ago with the first update on Midnight in Salem in over a year. The projected release now is spring of 2019. So we still got another year, but it's getting close. So, let's talk about that
Release date?
release date first. So originally, 2015 is when it was announced after Sea of Darkness came out in May. So we got that release. They told us that it would be coming out late 2015, but then they changed it when they told us that they were going to move game engines. So we've been waiting.
Which was, kind of understandable.
Yeah.
I wish they'd, thought forward on that, but continuing.
So they then gave us a teaser of what it would look like. They're moving to Unity, which is a very it's a multi-purpose game engine. You can do a lot of different things in Unity. So they just gave us a little taste of what it would look like based on what they did, a little bit of Labyrinth of Lies.
Which is great and all. I wish they'd spent less time doing that little projection for us and more time working on. But
the thing is, with a release date of spring of 2019, the question has to be asked. Have they been in production this whole time, or are they just starting production?
That's what I've been asking myself. Like, did they literally start doing Midnight in Salem in one engine and then move to another?
That's what they
did they decide partway into a project that they're going to come, most of the way through, probably, considering when they announced when they were going to be switching? Did they legitimately get into a project and decide they're going to switch engines instead of just doing that as their forward? Does anybody know
what it looks like? Because no one's been given the answers to this question have all been very copy and paste. They've been very generic and copy and paste. There's not a lot of transparency going on, which, a lot of game studios just don't. So it's just something we're not used to with Her Interactive, because we've always been able to ask questions and get answers. So it's not like a AAA studio. We're not being like, excuse me, Bethesda, can you please tell me? It's not the same thing. That's the difference between going into more of a mom and pa store, right? And being able to just talk to the owner and getting answers, as opposed to going into Walmart and being like, hello, can I talk to Mr. Walmart?
Hello, are Mr. and Mrs. Walmart available?
I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. So it looks as though they didn't actually get into programming any of it in the old engine. However, it was mostly finished written. The writing was almost finished. However, the main writer on the project, she was let go before she finished her drafts, her final drafts. Katie Kyronis, yeah.
Katie, yes.
So from her point of view, she was not done with the script before she was laid off. However, there have been people who did voices for it saying that they were already recorded. So voices have been recorded, supposedly, already.
Initially recorded, at least. They may, decide to change actors or whatever.
So, so the entire, the excuse we've been given, sorry, not excuse, reason we've been given for the production to take so long is that they're moving to a new engine. However, because if you didn't know, all of the Nancy Drew games up until Midnight in Salem were done in their own homebrew engine. So they weren't using an engine that was already created by other people that already have assets and stuff. They were using something that they programmed themselves starting in the 90s and just added on to. So what ends up happening is the more you try to add to something like that, you're just kind of like sticking things onto the outside of it, and sometimes it means that stuff inside gets broken. So it makes sense why they want to move to something more
100%. Yeah.
Especially since Unity is used for a lot of games that have the same kind of feeling as Nancy Drew. So, such as The Room, which is it's a puzzle game where you're walking around in a room. You click to where you're going to walk and stuff like that. So, I'll talk a little bit about this in a second when I go into more about Unity.
Okay, when you go to Unity, yeah.
So it's understandable that if they want to be taking their own assets from their own engine and putting them into Unity, it's going to take some time. However, they've also stated now that they have outsourced their game. Which means if you're outsourcing to someone who doesn't know the engine that you want to be using, I feel like that is not a smart idea. I'm trying to be diplomatic about this.
No, I can understand them seeing a certain group or whatever that they really enjoyed their programming, whatever it is that they saw, that they decided they wanted that. It's just a bad decision.
Yeah.
I can understand them making it as but I don't know. I feel like not enough research was done or something like that.
I mean, it has been said that the new CEO, Penny Milliken, sent out an email at one point it was an interoffice email about how they wouldn't need the art department anymore because they're moving to Unity, and Unity has its own assets. So there's obviously a misunderstanding of what the engine can do based on people who don't program and don't understand that aspect of it. And I think that's been a huge reason why the release date has been pushed back so much. I think the other reason is I'm afraid that there's a bit of a hive swap situation going on. For
explain
people who
that
don't know,
non-Homestucky people.
So this is just something that happened. It's a pretty big thing in the games world, actually. Interestingly enough. So in 2012, summer of 2012, the webcomic artist who created Homestuck, which is a very popular webcomic, he was going to put together a video game. Not based on it, but based in the same universe. And it was going to be Hive Swap, and it went far over its goal on Kickstarter within a couple of days. It ended up with 3 million backing it. So
out of
yeah,
maybe a quarter million was
no, I think it was supposed to be 1 million, and we ended up with 3 million or something like that. So what was going to happen, because he was a webcomic artist, he didn't know how to make games, so he was going to outsource. So once everything got paid for, he gave the money to the people he was outsourcing to, a little game studio called The Odd Gentleman. And what ended up happening is he'd keep going to them, and he'd say, okay, do you have an update? Do you have an update? Is there an update? They'd give him a walk cycle. That's it. And they'd be like, no, we're still working on it. We're still working on it, I swear. And what ended up happening about 2 years into this, he found out that the company he was outsourcing to took his money, and they were making another game completely. So he ended up only being able to get back only $100K of the 3 million. some.
Wait, I didn't know that part about it.
He didn't give them all the 3 million, but it was something. It might have only been like 1.3 million now that I'm thinking of it. But he only got back like a very
Regardless,
small portion of it.
did he not sue them? Because I don't know, honestly, the end of this.
It's kind of because a lot of this is he ended up having to sign like a whatchamacallit about it so that they would even give him any money back and shit like that. It's a whole thing. NDA.
NDAs mean shit.
But it's a whole thing. So basically,
I'm just saying
what ended up
NDAs
happening
actually don't mean shit.
What ended up happening was he got some of the money back, and with that money, instead of outsourcing to another place because he couldn't afford another place, he started learning to be a game studio. So Hive Swap only came out this year. It came out in September.
Go Hussy, persevere.
I know. that is 5 years past its projected release. 5 years of pretty much radio silence on the issue as well, because of legal issues that went with it. That's what I'm afraid about going on with Midnight Salem, because the thing is we're getting all this, every answer we get from Her Interactive is, well, we've outsourced it to this company and we don't have any news from them.
Yeah, and it's
and especially after the people that they outsourced codes and clues to went under and couldn't pay their art team.
Yeah.
They went bankrupt and couldn't even pay their art team.
It's a weird, messed up situation, and I don't know if Her Interactive got like semi-duped and they don't want to admit it, because that's a terrible thing to have to admit as a company.
Yeah,
I would 100% understand that, but at the same time, like, I feel like Clue Crew would super rally around them.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is I feel like the fans are so devoted in this, because a lot of us have been playing since the first few games. Yeah. So there's definitely a devoted fan base for the Her Interactive Nancy Drew games. But I feel like they're kind of alienating their own fan base by not being by not communicating very much. Mm-hmm. So you're getting people who are just getting mad because they're not getting answers. Not that they're getting mad because they're not. Yeah. It's like,
that's all I want. I just want answers. Like,
the thing is, there are loads and loads of games who start development super early and they come out super late. Let's talk, but they keep you updated. Things like Night in the Woods. That came out like a year late.
Exactly. That came out really, like, I got in on the Kickstarter on that one.
Yeah.
And they came out super late, but at the same time,
they were telling you guys.
More than a year, wasn't it? Because I invested in that before I ever even met Adam, and so that was a ways late. But we got updates. We got updates on what was wrong, updates on what was going right. They're like, okay, so this is wrong. Then we got to set back here. But hey, would you like some screenshots? It was nice and
it's understandable not wanting to. They keep putting out saying, well, we don't want to put anything out there if we're going to change it later. And it's like, that's just what things do, though. Like, movie trailers will have whole scenes in them that never show up in the movies.
Yes, constantly.
So that's like, I mean, like, let's talk about Rogue One. I'm a rebel. I rebel. That wasn't in the fucking movie. It was never in the movie. They cut that scene out. They cut that line out. Which, to be fair, I'm glad, because it's a very clunky line. But it was like a huge part of the trailer. So that's how I feel. That's our
that's
feeling
our feel on that part of it.
On that part of it. Let's talk about how we feel about moving to the new engine and stuff. Because, to be honest, I am excited for that, because I think that the engine that we've been using is it's clunky. It has some issues. The main issues, honestly, being that they are not supported on very many devices. Mm-hmm. The fact that,
that is true.
There's no extra Mac support, there's no Linux support, there's none of that. Everything's just it's only mouse. That's all you can use, pretty much the entire thing.
I mean, I mind that, but that's just because it all works.
But
I guess my selfish part is like, it wasn't broken, don't fix it. But
I feel like the engine was broken now.
Yeah, I know, but on my end, it didn't feel that way. So I was like, no, screw everybody else.
So now with Unity, you can do a lot more stuff. So there are some really cool games that use Unity that you can really see with which way they might be going. So I have two examples. There's The Room, which is a puzzle box game basically. So you can walk into a room and you can look into things and then zoom back out and you can walk clicking around the room to go look around and look at the stuff. On the other end, we have Cradle, which is it's a point and click type game, but you use your keyboard, you use WASD to move around, and you use your mouse to look around. So it's not a stationary viewpoint. I know that has a lot of people.
A la like Minecraft and stuff.
Yeah, more like Minecraft, or kind of like Life is Strange. That's another. Life is Strange is not in Unity, but that's another style.
It's the same, yeah.
But that's third person. So Cradle is in first person. So you're looking around yourself, which I like. I know a lot of people don't like first person.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. It's weird.
It makes some people nauseous. Like out straight up. It makes people.
Okay, actually no. When I'm playing like Skyrim, I have trouble in first person. It's like, I have trouble aiming and stuff. But
see, aiming is so much easier in first person for me. I cannot fucking aim in third person. That's awful.
I don't know. I feel like
Andrew's playing
my character sometimes.
Andrew's playing Rise of the Tomb Raider right now because he got it off the Steam sale, and that's third person, and you have to use a fucking bow and arrow, and he's using the controller with it, and I'm like, this is terrible. I'm like, how are you doing this? I would hate this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I do hope to see it continuing. The point and click style, mostly because I feel like it's kind of it's not a bad style, and what?
It's on brand.
It is. It's on brand. It's they are a point and click game, and I feel like there is a certain lack of point and click games. Like certain games evolve into being basically the same as, anything else you'd find. It's like there's a certain charm to and simplicity, and you can have certain things be more complex because it's point and click.
The other thing that's good about that is if you don't have things go all the way around, if you can't make yourself move into all these places, you only have certain places you can do. What can happen is you can, instead of making the environment fully 3D, you make it more like set dressing. That's better on performance because you don't have to render everything in the back. So it's way better on performance for a game, and it's better on it looks nicer because you can put more detail into things then. Because if you're only dressing up half of an object, it ends up looking a lot nicer. And that's the thing, that's what the old engine did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when we saw Labyrinth of Lies stuff in Unity, it ended up looking not quite right.
It was super off.
It was weird.
I was like,
but that's because,
I wish they'd put together a room, a perspective room, even if it wasn't like fully textured from Midnight in Salem, rather than trying to redo a scene
something
from another
game. Yeah, from taking something from one engine to another, which is never going to look very good.
No. It's it's silly, but yeah. So I hope that the move to Unity is good. And I personally hope that it stays point and click. I don't know about everybody else, but I'd prefer point and click for this.
I think it just makes it a little more accessible to people.
Mm-hmm. It's less to worry about. It's less to
it means
make you dizzy.
Yeah, it doesn't cause nausea. It also is easier for people with mobility issues with clicking, because you only have to worry about clicking the mouse button instead of having to hold down WASD and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So how about story? What do we want to see with the story?
I'm not gonna lie. It's been forever since I was reading anything about the story for Mid. Because
I know, basically, it's in Salem, and therefore I know that it has something to do with the witch trials.
Yeah. So all of the main characters that they gave us all of the character summaries for had last names that were related to people from the Salem witch trials. So I think we can definitely be sure that they're going to do something like that. What do we want to see them touch on? if we're going to do stuff about the Salem witch trials.
I mean,
Do we want it to be based on it being all that they actually were witches, or do we want to touch on the hysteria that happened?
I would hope that it's more of a parallel than like an actual, like maybe there's something going on there that like okay, Deirdre calls us about something going on, and basically it's just sort of like I kind of hope that it's essentially a repeat of the hysteria of some kind of witch trial, and so it's like, oh my gosh, we feel like this thing is happening.
Yeah.
And it's sort of Nancy trying to prove some kind of innocence or whatever, because I really hope that it's not just something just it's like, oh, the witch trials happened and here let us expound upon that, because that's honestly, as much as I loved learning about that stuff,
Yeah.
it's been done. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh God, more.
It really has been done. And the other thing is, I don't know. I feel you can go the two ways with it. You can go Scooby Doo, do that way, go full on like there's just someone with actual like magic fucking powers.
Earth, wind, fire, and air.
I know.
Sorry.
The Hex Girls were the best
The
part of that
Hex Girls
entire
were the
thing.
best.
The Hex Girls, it's like, did I want to be them? Did I want to date them? Who knows? They were just the best.
I was gonna say Deirdre's a Hex Girl.
Deirdre is the Hex Girl with the black hair with the red highlights in it.
Yes.
Not highlights, it's just red shine to it, which I fucking loved.
But yeah, that's basically, I hope that they don't lean
Into
too
that.
much into the actual witch trials, and they lean more into the hysteria of,
Yeah.
of people. Because the whole thing about the Salem witch trials is that it's which is why the Crucible is written.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting look into how people behaved, because the whole reason that the Crucible was written was because
The Whack trials.
it mirrored the Whack trials. The Walk.
Whack.
The Walk trials.
Whack.
The Walk. I said
Side
it weird,
note.
so I'm making fun of myself.
Side note, we had a drama professor, this is in college, who did not know that the Salem witch trials had actually happened. He just thought that Arthur Miller made them up.
Tell the man.
Yeah. So he was like, well, I don't know if they ever happened. And I was like, they did. That happened. Yes. That was a real thing.
I acted like we were weird for knowing that.
And I'm like, I'm 16. Like, what is going on here? Why do I know more than my professor? But yes, funny story. So what do we really hope they stay away from with the story? My big thing is, so when they were setting out all of the character bios and stuff, and there's that one character who's an albino, and everyone kept asking questions about her, about like what was, who she was, what she was like.
Right, it's like, okay, she's albino. Got it.
Every single reply from her interactive was, she's albino. She has albinism. And so I really hope that they stay away from making that like a huge defining thing of that character, because I would like her to have an actual personality as well. Maybe I'm weird. Who knows?
Like, it's like... Okay, it's sort of not to the same extent, but it's sort of like what I was talking about when we were talking about Dane by Design with JJ. So it's just like, oh,
she's plus size.
Is her thing. Ho, we included something. It's like, no, guys. Yeah. This isn't the 90s. Don't include something just to include something and have it be that person's defining characteristic.
Sorry, our bar is set higher than that nowadays. I apologize. So, yeah. Anything else? But we've already talked about we want them to not, like, make it all about the witch trials. We'd rather them make it a parallel, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Deirdre.
I am so excited that it's a Deirdre game.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
She's my girl.
My girl Deirdre.
But, sorry. Just smacking things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I think I
Yeah.
forgot what I was
Okay.
saying.
So of the characters we've been shown, sorry, I
Okay.
finally actually pulled up the characters because I was like, I remember basic. So I didn't 100% remember everything. Because it's been so long since we gotten an update. Sorry. So yeah, we've got all the names. Jeez, they only released 5 characters, and one of them was Deirdre.
Yeah.
It felt like they were supposed to be releasing more characters.
Yeah. I mean, they were saying they were
Regardless,
going to put more characters in the games now, but
yeah.
you know,
So we've got May, who is albino.
she's albino. Did you know?
Um,
Yeah, she's albino.
Tegan, who is related to her and not albino. Jenna Ravencraft, who appears to just be a plus-sized witch. Not like her
I can't
costume
remember
is just. Huh?
where is this?
I just Googled and found the things that they released. I literally looked up Midnight in Salem characters.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Jenna Ravencraft looks like exactly how you would picture Jenna Ravencraft looking. And Lauren Corey is a super chill looking black chick. I don't
Yeah.
know what else
Is
really get.
she related to Ingrid Corey?
Haha. I don't think so.
Probably
But
not.
she's very pretty character design. Actually,
Yeah.
they all have very pretty character
They're
designs.
all women, which is interesting. I don't think there's been an all-woman cast since Waverly Academy.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It's very interesting. And they could do stuff with it. They could make it. But basically, I hope that they don't. Okay, what do I hope that they do? No, because I just want them to. Anyway, I have. I hope that they subvert expectations for what it's worth, and like yes, it's in Salem. Yes, it's revolving ish around. It's kind of that's it within the scope.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. It's like I don't know. It's like Noisette being a spy, just because apparently I'm still on danger by design. It's off in a corner. It's a thing that we talk about. That's our historical bit for the game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a huge portion of
Yeah.
the rest of it. It's my main problem,
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
What I want in the characters I've seen, I want Jenna to not be what she looks like. Because she looks like that annoying person who takes being a Wicca too far.
Yes. She does, in fact, give off that look.
I prefer Wiccan and just the one.
I
the
do.
one that
I do know
it,
the
and
one.
I'm not like
We've known too many of them.
known her. We've
Yeah,
known
we've known her. And I don't want her to be that person who they don't want coming to the holistic shops.
Mhm.
The ones where they're like, oh shit, everyone hide.
Oh God, Jenna Ravencraft is here.
Yeah.
That ain't her name. Her name.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm calling it right now. Her name is not Jenna Ravencraft.
Probably not, no. But yes. What weird gameplay things are we afraid they might do with the new model? Something that I was laughing about, is with pretty much every game nowadays, they include DLC. What would Nancy Drew DLC be like? You get to dress Nancy in a different outfit. Nancy's in a different outfit.
You can get different charms. Oh, you can get different apps for your phone.
Entire extra story plots.
You can totally that'd be great. You can totally download content that hides new Easter eggs. Okay, a la Assassin's Creed Origins. Every week they come out with a new Easter egg that you have to figure out how to find. Or a new
Oh
set of
God, no.
Easter eggs.
That would be terrible.
That would be great. I love it. In a
um,
terrible way, honestly.
also,
Keep us playing the game. I mean,
yeah.
you know.
See, the thing is, like with games like Nancy Drew, it's a set like this is a 6-hour game. So what you're getting out of it, we want you to play it the once, pretty much. Like that's what they're all about. In the past, that's what pretty much their game model is.
They put so much time into this one. They've made us wait for so long. They cannot expect this to be a tissue we toss to the side this time. Yeah. We have put a lot of waiting into this, and if they don't like give us something really good, we're probably going to be you get daytime in Salem. I love it.
DLC, you can
That's Drew DLC daylight. I love
it. Amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just things I don't want to see them again, like I said. I don't want to see them diverging really from
the model that they already have.
Model. But
I think I'd be okay.
Could just be my own old person shining through.
I mean, I like the point and click aspect of it because, as I've said, it's more accessible to people. Yeah. But I, to be honest, prefer to be able to move around a little better. And so my actual preference is to do more of like a WASD thing going on. But
like, I would be lying if I said that I hadn't thought about that in the past. Like, but at the same time, I've played more of those sorts of things, and it's like, yes, I do love games where I get to move around, where I get to explore every crevice, where I can, like
but really But at
the same time, I don't want that. I want to be able to concentrate on things. I want to be able to find clues. I don't want to have to like spin around a room like 17 goddamn times in order to like, oh look, the red hand finally lit up, or
yeah,
know what I mean?
I do know.
So yeah, that's my hope for that.
Yeah. If you could make one ridiculous prediction that hopefully that will not come true, but this is our crackpot theory of what might happen. What is the most ridiculous thing you can think of that is possible?
Deirdre is the reincarnation of a witch who was long lost during the witch trials. However, she was not persecuted, and she saw all of her sisters burned at the stake. And therefore, she got very up in arms and came back as Deirdre, and that's why Deirdre's been like kind of a bitch for her whole life. And and so she's trying to get revenge, and she's called upon Nancy to help her.
Okay. So is Nancy now a witch as well?
No, she just calls upon Nancy because she's like, I don't know who else to talk to about this.
Yeah. My crazy prediction, is that it's all been completely changed. It's no longer a point and click format. Now it is a first person shooter. Nancy Drew's just shooting people to ask them questions. Well, you have to aim at them and shoot them in stealth. That way you can ask them the tough questions about what happened to their mother. No, wait. No, wait. This is even worse. Leveling up.
Oh my god.
Leveling up in Nancy Drew.
Oh. That would be terrible.
Now I can put more points into my sleuth skill.
The more I sleep, the better luck I have finding clues. Oh no, fuck that.
Now I'm gonna put on
insight.
Now I'm gonna put on this specific outfit. In this specific outfit, I have like 5% chance more to eavesdrop.
Goes all like RPG on this shit. No. God, no.
Nancy Drew the RPG. Amazing.
The Nancy Drew RPG. Holy crap.
I want it.
No, I don't want to be Nancy in this RPG.
Too bad. You have to be Nancy.
I want to essentially be a Deirdre character.
Too bad. Too bad. You can be Nancy. That's it.
Chaotic
neutral Nancy. Nancy is verging between chaotic good and chaotic neutral, and you have to admit.
I guess, yeah.
Ain't no lawful good ordering shit off the black market, not knowing what you're ordering.
No.
Skill 100 in weird puzzles and 0 in tact. Tact was her dump stat, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair, if you were going to stat up Nancy like she was in D&D, her dump stat would definitely be charisma.
Yeah.
Charisma's pretty low. However, I think Constitution is pretty high, because how else can she make all those, saving throws to concussions?
Yeah, for real though. Yeah, definitely.
Her Constitution has to be pretty high. Her Strength has to be pretty high.
Her
we carry around
I don't think
is
terribly high, honestly. We don't have a lot of it. But however, her insight has to be pretty good in terms of.
We're talking about int or wisdom.
What?
Int or wisdom. I'm going full D&D right now.
Well, okay, but which edition?
I'm talking about 3.5.
Oh.
What are you talking about? 4E? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck 4E.
I was in 4E. I hate 4E. And it doesn't matter. And then we became a D&D podcast.
I can be a not D&D, but I can be a Star Wars roleplay podcast. Anyone want to do that? Genesis? Anyone want to talk about Genesis? Hit me up.
Dude, D&D podcast be great.
Didn't they just pick up like Crit Roll on Netflix?
Did they?
I think they did.
That's wonderful. No, the only D&D well, I used to listen to Nerd Poker, but now I only listen to Drunks and Dragons.
Yeah, we kind of listen to some, but they're not
Drunks and Dragons.
No, we watched,
just podcast
different podcasts, different real play. So those are fun.
I'm sorry, that's what Drunks and Dragons and Nerd Poker are.
Yeah,
they're both.
Dice for Brains is pretty good, but that's just that's Star Wars. That's their real play. Oh, it's so funny.
This is not Nancy Drew.
This is not Nancy Drew. And I'm not going to apologize, because
I'm not either.
You're my captive audience.
Well,
Except you're not captive, because you guys leave.
You can click out at any time.
But please don't.
But don't.
Make me sad. I don't want to make us sad.
Make us sad.
So
you wouldn't like us when we're sad.
Let us know what you guys think about Midnight in Salem, the release date that's been set. Leave it in our comments. Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, SoundCloud, anywhere you can find us. Let us know what you think and what your crazy predictions will be. I don't think you can top Nancy Drew RPG, though.
I love it.
With
Nancy
Foam Charm DLC. So just let us know. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Marisa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters, and we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.